The old Victorian house loomed before me, a skeletal silhouette against the dying light. Its towering spires and intricate woodwork, now decayed and crumbling, spoke of a grandeur long lost to time. The mansion seemed to breathe, its windows like hollow eyes staring back at me, daring me to step closer. A shiver snaked down my spine despite the summer heat. The air was thick with an unnatural chill, as if the house itself exhaled a cold breath that wrapped around me. My hands trembled slightly, betraying the fear I tried to suppress. This was the infamous Blackwood Manor, a place whispered to be haunted by restless spirits. Stories of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena had surrounded this place for decades, making it a local legend. The tales of those who had dared to enter and never returned only added to its ominous reputation. I was about to spend the next 24 hours alone within its decaying walls, a dare I couldn't resist. My friends had laughed, calling me crazy, but the thrill of the unknown was too enticing. I had to prove to myself and to them that I could face whatever lurked within. My heart pounded a heavy rhythm against my ribs as I approached the front porch. Each step felt like a journey into the past, the wooden boards creaking under my weight. The closer I got, the more I could feel the house's presence, as if it were aware of my approach. The air grew thick with anticipation, heavy with the weight of unseen eyes. It was as if the very atmosphere was charged with electricity, every hair on my body standing on end. The mist swirled around me, obscuring my vision and adding to the sense of foreboding. This was no ordinary investigation. This was a journey into the heart of fear itself, a confrontation with the unknown. I had come prepared with a flashlight, a camera, and a notebook to document my experiences, but no amount of preparation could truly ready me for what lay ahead. This was a test of my courage, a challenge to confront the unknown in its own domain. I steeled myself, taking a deep breath to calm my racing heart. I had to remain focused, to push through the fear and uncover the truth hidden within these walls. The front door creaked open with a groan, as if warning me to turn back. The sound echoed through the empty halls, a mournful wail that seemed to come from the very soul of the house. I hesitated for a moment, the urge to flee almost overwhelming, but I forced myself to step inside. I stepped inside, the scent of decay and dust assaulting my senses. The air was thick with the smell of mold and rot, a testament to the years of neglect. Dust motes danced in the beam of my flashlight, creating an eerie, almost magical atmosphere. The house seemed to sigh around me, a mournful sound that sent chills down my spine. Every creak and groan of the old wood felt like a whisper, a voice from the past trying to communicate. I could almost hear the echoes of lives once lived within these walls, their stories now lost to time. There was no turning back now. I had committed to this dare, and I would see it through to the end. I took another deep breath, steadying myself for the long night ahead. I had to stay vigilant, to keep my wits about me and to remember why I was here. I was committed to uncovering the secrets hidden within Blackwood Manor. Each step I took echoed through the empty halls, a reminder of the solitude and the challenge I had accepted. I was ready to face whatever awaited me, to confront the ghosts of the past, and to uncover the truth that lay hidden in the shadows. Blackwood Manor had a history as tragic as its current state. Built in the late 1800s, it was once home to the wealthy Blackwood family. But their fortune was short-lived. Tragedy struck, claiming the lives of the entire family within a single year. First, the youngest daughter, Lily, drowned in the well. Then the eldest son, William, died in a hunting accident. Their mother, overcome with grief, took her own life soon after. The patriarch, John Blackwood, was driven to madness by these events and was found dead in his study, cause of death unknown. The house remained empty for years, shunned by the locals who whispered of the Blackwoods' restless spirits haunting the halls. Some claimed to see flickering lights in the windows, hear disembodied whispers on the wind, and feel an oppressive presence within the house's walls. I was here to find out if the rumors were true. As I explored the house in the fading daylight, each room seemed to whisper its own tale of sorrow. Dust-covered furniture stood frozen in time, as if waiting for the Blackwoods to return. Cobwebs draped the ornate chandeliers, casting eerie shadows that danced in the fading light. In the nursery, a rocking horse stood frozen mid-rock, its paint chipped and faded. I could almost hear the echo of childish laughter, cut short by tragedy. The master bedroom was a testament to despair, with a dishevelled bed and a single glove lying abandoned on the vanity. The air grew colder as I descended into the basement. The musty smell of earth and decay intensified, clinging to the back of my throat. The floor was bare earth, and the walls were lined with shelves, now empty and covered in cobwebs. This house held onto its secrets tightly, but I was determined to uncover them. Section 4. Gearing up for the unknown. With the sun sinking below the horizon, I set up my equipment in the parlour, the room where the Blackwoods once entertained guests. The air was thick with history, and every creak of the floorboards seemed to whisper secrets of the past. The parlour, with its faded wallpaper and antique furniture, felt like a portal to another time, a place where the line between the living and the dead was thin. My arsenal included EMF meters to detect electromagnetic fluctuations, which are often associated with paranormal activity. These devices are sensitive to the slightest changes in the environment, and their readings can provide crucial clues about the presence of spirits. As I turned on the EMF meter, its lights flickered to life, casting an eerie glow in the dim room. I also had a digital voice recorder to capture EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, sounds that are believed to be the voices of spirits communicating from beyond the grave. This small device, though unassuming, has the power to capture the whispers of the unseen, the voices that linger in the shadows. I placed it carefully on an old wooden table, hoping it would pick up any messages from the other side. And then there was the full spectrum camera, designed to capture any apparitions that might reveal themselves. This camera can see beyond the range of human vision into the ultraviolet and infrared spectrums, making it an essential tool for any paranormal investigator. I set it up on a tripod, ensuring it had a clear view of the room, ready to capture any ghostly figures that might appear. I placed infrared cameras in strategic locations throughout the house, their red eyes blinking in the growing darkness. These cameras are designed to detect heat signatures, allowing them to capture images of entities that might otherwise go unseen. As I positioned each camera, I felt a sense of anticipation, wondering what they might reveal. These cameras, linked to a central monitor, would capture any movement, whether from the living or the dead. The monitor displayed a live feed from each camera, creating a network of eyes that watched over the house. I could see every corner, every shadow, and I knew that if anything moved, I would be the first to know. Finally, I set up a spirit box, a device that scans radio frequencies, allowing spirits to communicate through the white noise. This device is often used in paranormal investigations to facilitate direct communication with spirits, and its static-filled sounds can be both eerie and enlightening. As I turned it on, the room filled with the crackling of static, a sound that seemed to invite the spirits to speak. As I worked, the house seemed to hold its breath, watching me with unseen eyes. The shadows in the corners seemed to shift and move, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every sound, every flicker of light took on a new significance, and I felt a chill run down my spine. The air crackled with anticipation, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone. The dust particles floating in the eerie light seemed to dance with a life of their own, and the silence was almost deafening. My heart pounded in my chest, and I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what was to come. The stage was set for a night of paranormal investigation, and I was ready to face whatever might come. With my equipment in place and my senses on high alert, I knew that the night ahead would be filled with mystery and perhaps a few answers. The unknown awaited, and I was prepared to meet it head-on, ready to uncover the secrets that the haunted house held within its walls. Section 5. The Silence of Night. Nightfall descended upon Blackwood Manor, shrouding the house in an oppressive darkness. The once grand estate now stood as a silent sentinel, its windows like hollow eyes staring into the void. The air was thick with an almost tangible sense of foreboding, as if the house itself was aware of my presence and was watching my every move. The silence was deafening, broken only by the creaking of the old house and the pounding of my own heart. Each step I took seemed to echo through the empty hallways, amplifying the sense of isolation. The walls, covered in peeling wallpaper, seemed to close in on me, and the shadows danced menacingly in the corners of my vision. I sat in the parlor, the glow of the monitor illuminating my face, and waited. The room was filled with antique furniture draped in white sheets that looked like ghostly figures in the dim light. The monitor flickered occasionally, casting eerie shadows on the walls. I could feel the weight of the house's history pressing down on me, each piece of furniture a silent witness to the events that had transpired here. Hours crawled by, each tick of the clock amplifying the tension. The old-fashioned clock on the mantelpiece seemed to mock me with its relentless ticking, a constant reminder of the passage of time. Every minute felt like an eternity, and the anticipation of what might happen next was almost unbearable. The EMF meter remained silent, the spirit box emitted only static, and the cameras showed nothing but dust motes dancing in the infrared light. I checked and rechecked my equipment, hoping for any sign of paranormal activity, but the house remained stubbornly silent. It was as if the spirits were toying with me, refusing to reveal themselves. Was I alone in this house of shadows? Or were the spirits simply biding their time? The silence was unnerving. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that unseen eyes were following my every move. The oppressive darkness seemed to have a life of its own, shifting and changing as if it were a living entity. It felt like a living presence, pressing in on me from all sides. The air was thick and heavy, making it difficult to breathe. I could almost hear whispers in the silence, faint and indistinct, as if the house itself was trying to communicate with me. The atmosphere was charged with an electric tension, and I knew that something was about to happen. I fought the urge to jump at every creak and groan of the old house, reminding myself that I was here to find evidence of the paranormal, not to be scared off by it. My nerves were frayed, and my senses were on high alert. Every sound, every shadow seemed to take on a sinister significance. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for whatever might come next. The night was far from over, and I was determined to uncover the secrets that Blackwood Manor held within its walls.